Yo, what's going on, snipers? And it is finally time to rip off that band-aid and find out if we are going to win a Stanley Cup this year, as we're going to be taking on Montreal for the Stanley Cup. In last episode, if you didn't catch it, we took out the Los Angeles Kings in what was a pretty solid series for us. It was another series that went this time to 5 games, so we had a little bit of an easier time with them than Arizona, which is kind of surprising because I thought LA was one of the tougher teams that we had to face. But we managed to get ourselves to this Cup Finals, and now we're taking on a pretty historically good Montreal Canadiens team in a sense that they are 12-2 in the playoff run so far. They didn't have the best regular season, as you can see. They went 42-30-10, so it is a bit concerning that they're doing as good as they are right now in the playoffs. Now, what's interesting is the last time the Montreal Canadiens actually played the Chicago Blackhawks in a Stanley Cup Finals, at least of my knowledge, when I just like searching on Google, was 1973. So almost 60 years later, the two teams are facing each other in a Stanley Cup Finals again. Well, 62 years later, I guess. Yeah, 62 years later. So it is going to be really cool to see what ends up happening with this. The 1973 Stanley Cup Final apparently went to 6 games, and Montreal won the Stanley Cup. So hopefully that's not the case this time around, and hopefully the Chicago Blackhawks win the Cup here, because we've been heavily reliant on our top line for the most part of the playoffs. Some guys are starting to pick it up, like Recchi, but basically it's going to be our top line versus their top line, because their top line is pretty filthy as well. So we're going to be relying heavily on McDavid, Vance especially to score goals, Reefers as well. But guys like Recchi hopefully could help us get some good depth scoring in the Stanley Cup Finals. And then, yeah, Montreal, like I said, they've only played 14 games up to this point, but Parks, Manlow, and Caulfield are the 3 guys we need to contain. Also, Nils Lundkvist has been really good from the back end for them. And a couple of second liners like Darby and Griffin have been good. Korolev's been good. Like, they definitely have the better depth scoring so far this playoff run. And also, goaltender Ned Okposo, who we played a few years ago in the playoffs when he was with the Oilers, is a playoff machine right now. As you can see so far in the playoffs in his career, this guy is 15-3 with a .943 save percentage. I don't know how he's this good in the playoffs, but apparently he just turns it on completely when it comes to the playoff time. He's even been really good in the AHL in the playoffs before, where he won a Calder Cup back in 2029. So yeah, hopefully we could beat this Montreal team and get ourselves our first Stanley Cup of the series, because like I said, we have not won one yet, and obviously with Vance's contract getting close to being done, we definitely need to win a Stanley Cup to hopefully entice him more so to re-sign with this team. But likely we should be able to get him on an 8-year deal regardless, because I am going to be giving him a ton of money. But I really hope that we can win the Stanley Cup this year, because obviously last year was a pretty big disappointment, winning the President's Trophy and then being out in the first round. So hopefully we can get the cup win this year, and we do once again have home ice advantage in another playoff round. But anyways, let's get into game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. See if we could take a 1-0 series lead here. Like I said, Montreal has been historically good so far. They only have 2 losses in the first 3 rounds. One came in round 1 against Detroit, and the other one came against Boston in the conference finals. If we're able to sweep them, I'd feel bad for Montreal Canadiens fans in a sense, because of how good their team's doing right now. But I obviously don't really like the Habs at all, so I really hope that we could just get this cup win, and hopefully Vance continues on his pace that he's on. Like, he's got the 16 goals so far. We need him to have a really good Stanley Cup Finals here as well. So here we go. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and get into game 1. See if we could take a 1-0 series lead here. Take it one game at a time, and hopefully we can win the Stanley Cup by the end of it. First period of game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and we're down 2-0. That's not good. Oh boy. I might have to turn to Howden, because Howden's been the better of the two. Donald's not been consistent enough. Clark makes it 1-0, and then Sylvain Parks makes it 2-0. Like I said, we got to find a way to contain that top line of theirs. It's our top line versus their top line, and their top line already has a goal, so that's not a good sign. Shots are 13-6 in favor of Montreal. Can we get a goal back at least to pull us back into this game? We need our top line to step up here. Second period, 5-2 Montreal. Oof. I like that our offense got 2 goals, but I do not like our goaltending and our defensive play in this game at all. 5 goals against on 22 shots. Manlow scores, so that's another one of their top liners. Made it 3-0. Ninemaki made it 3-1, so we were kind of close at that point. Liljegren makes it 4-1. Lowry makes it 4-2, and then Brooks made it 5-2. We've allowed, I think, already 3 power play goals in this game. Yeah, 3 power play goals against. So Montreal's power play is really, really good. So we definitely need to find a way to contain that next game. Like I am gonna make probably some adjustments to our penalty kill, I think, already next game. But yeah, I don't think Easton Donald starts next game. I think we're gonna be going to the youngster and Howden for next game. I don't like how he's playing in this one. Here we go, third period. Let's see if we could come back in this game. I have seen 6-5 finals in this type of stage, but not a good way to start off the Stanley Cup Finals. We've had a historic run up this point, and yeah, we're going to lose game 1 to a team that's having a really, really good playoff run and shouldn't even be in the Stanley Cup Finals based on their record, but they have that top line that definitely is really good. And we lose 5-2 in game 1 of the finals. That's not good. That is not good. Ninamaki from Pakistani, Lowry from Corrado, and Bale. So Lowry has 5 goals now, which is more than he had in the regular season. But no goals from Asher Vance. And once again, another good effort from Ned Okposo in a playoff game. Yeah, we definitely need to make some adjustments after that game. That's not the way you want to start a Stanley Cup Finals. Especially against a team that barely loses. We need to win this next game, or else we could end up getting swept for the Stanley Cup, which would not be good. So yeah, Howden's going to start this next game, and we are going to make some line adjustments for the rest of the team. We're going to take Patterson back out, put Little back in, I think. Actually, we'll put in Hart, because I want somebody more defensive down there. Yeah, we'll put him down there with Brigley, because I wanted to be a bit more of a defensive fourth line, not as much snipers in it. And then defensively, we'll make adjustments. We'll go Ninamaki back up, Spiller back down. And goalie-wise, yeah, like I said, is fine. Should I get Johansson? And I would have to scratch somebody I don't want to scratch, though. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Address the penalty kill, especially here. Reefers and Ziska's fine. Yeah, this unit, it's not so much. I will put Vance to the wing, but I am going to put a different center between the... I'm going to put Brigley, because he can win face-offs. It does give it a -2, but maybe that's the change it needs. Yeah, maybe that's the change it needs. As that was a really bad first game on the special teams units. Okay, we need a big rebound game from that. We need Howden to have his best career playoff game yet. And we need our offense to step up, because Vance was nowhere. That top line that's been so consistent so far was nowhere in that first game. And their top line took advantage of that. So here we go, game 2. This is a must-win game, I think, because if we lose 2 games going to Montreal, Montreal could not easily win both games on home ice. So here we go. This is a huge game in the Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, guys. Let's rebound here. First period of game number 2. 2-1 us. Okay, I'll take it. We scored 2 goals first, both power play goals, so that's good to see. Our power play is doing better this time. Corrado and Kabanov, but Caulfield scores for them, so their top line has still been really good. Every single one of their top liners has a goal so far in the series. Shots are 11-8 in favor of Montreal, so we got 2 goals on 8 shots, so we're starting to get to Okposo, which is good, but we need it to be consistent effort. We need also our defense to step up a little bit, that type of thing. Can we get some insurance in the second period? Second period, 3-1. There we go. That's the insurance. And it's Ziska, who had not scored yet in this playoff run. So that's good to see us getting some good depth scoring. And we're a period away from giving Montreal only their 3rd loss of the postseason. So that's good. That's good. Shots are 21-17. And we have yet to have a goal from Vance in this Cup Finals, which is kind of surprising. Or McDavid. So one of those guys probably have to come through soon. Let's lock this game down here in the 3rd period and have the series at least tied headed to Montreal, because that's better than being down 0-2. Come on, boys. Lock her down. Lock her down. Power play opportunity, and Vance scores. Let's go. There he is. I knew he had to score sooner or later. He doesn't go quiet for too long. That's his 17th goal, I think, of the playoffs. And we are going to have a tie series headed to Montreal. Let's go. That's a good effort, and I think I'm going to start Howden next game as well, until he loses a game or something like that. But what an effort from the team. Good defensive effort. Good goaltending. Good offense. Not too bad. Kabanov from Nazar and Spiller. Corrado from Nazar and Kabanov. Ziska from Hart and Corrado. So Hart gets thrown in the lineup, and the 4th line gets a goal. And then Vance scores from Recchi. So McDavid has no points still in the Stanley Cup Finals, but it is what it is. Howden first star of the game, Corrado second star, and Cabanov the third. So yeah, Howden's definitely going to keep being our goaltender so far. Even though I do like Donald, he's been way more inconsistent, it seems like. But we need to at least win one of these 2 games in Montreal, because if we lose both these games, we're still setting ourselves up for a bad scenario. So we definitely need a win on the road here. And it's probably going to be pretty tough to win in Montreal, considering I think Montreal was... Did it say that they were like 6-1 on home ice and on the road? So yeah, I think they're a good home team too. So Howden's going to start this game. And yeah, we're going to keep the 4th line as is with Patterson being scratched. Yeah. We'll only put Patterson back in if we have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, just because Hart's not really an important piece to this team. But he picked up an assist in his first game of the playoffs. So at least that helped out a little bit. And yeah, let's keep the rest of the team the same. See if we can get a win in Montreal. If we could win 2 games in Montreal, that would be amazing, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if we at least take one of these 2, it sets us up for at least a best of 3 to wrap up the series. So here we go, an important game number 3. We have a tie series at 1. Can we take a 2-1 series lead here in the Stanley Cup Finals? Come on, boys. This is a big game. Let's get her done. Hopefully Vance has another strong game. First period of game number 3. We're up 1-0. Let's go, and it's Corrado. Let's go. Our depth scoring is starting to be a little bit better here in these last few rounds. I really like that. Shots are 9-6 in favor of us, so it's a pretty defensive period. Not a lot of offense, but we managed to at least get 1 goal. Can we get some insurance in the second period, or just at least play good defensively for the 20 minutes? Second period, 3-0. Let's go. McDavid and Niittymaki, another power play goal as well. So McDavid finally scores his first point to the playoffs, or Stanley Cup Finals out of the playoffs, jeez. We're a period away from taking a 2-1 series lead on Montreal and only giving them their 4th loss of the playoffs. So we're definitely the toughest task Montreal's had to face yet. Shots are 25-19. Let's lock it down and take this one on the road here, boys. Come on. Hey, Vance scores again to make it 4-0. Let's go. Let's go. I cannot wait to see what happens if we are able to take this next few games. Parks makes it 4-1, so their top line gets back on the board again. Very similar game to last game, and Howden's playing really good. Bales makes it 5-1. Let's go. We're outscoring them pretty badly here. And Okposo is starting to finally act like Ned would, you know. Because he had a .943 save percentage going into this series, but in these last 2 games, he's given up 9 goals. Yeah, we're definitely the toughest task he's had to face. So Corrado from Bales and Ziska, Niittymaki from Pakislati and Vance, McDavid from Nazar and Recchi, Vance from McDavid and Morris, and Bales from Corrado and Ziska. Well, let's go. McDavid and Vance are... Actually, McDavid's not even a star. Vance is the first star. Corrado's the second star. And another good performance from Howden. Howden's going to stay as the goalie for the next game, but I feel like I might turn back to Donald just because Donald should be the guy that gets to go through maybe a handshake line if we have a chance to win a cup. But obviously we only have a 2-1 series lead right now at this point, so it could still be anybody's series. But yeah, we've outscored them 9-2 in the last 2 games. Their top line hasn't been anywhere since game 1, really. So that is really good for us. We just need to keep our foot on the gas, though. Even though Howden has actually won both these games... Actually, he's got a .954 save percentage in 5 games. He has not lost so far. I think I got to keep rocking with Howden. I was going to say maybe we should just turn to Donald and get him back in because he's getting some rust, but Howden's been actually really good this playoff run. Like, better than advertised. And yeah, we'll keep the rest of the team the exact same. Eventually, I might take out Hart, though, when we have a chance to win a Stanley Cup, if we do. Because I want Patterson in that celebration if we have that chance. Not Hart. So there you go. Let's keep the team the exact same for this game. See if we could take a commanding 3-1 series lead. We've been dominating the last 2 games. Hopefully Montreal doesn't find a way to win this game, because then it's going to be a best of 3 if that's the case. Here we go. Game number 4. Can we take a 3-1 series lead on the Habs and be 1 win away from a Stanley Cup win? Come on, guys. This is a big game. Let's do this. First period. Down 2-0. God damn it. Maybe we should have turned to Donald. Howden's, like, maybe he's just having one of those playoffs where he's good for games, but then obviously playing too much is not good for the kid. I don't know. But Caulfield and Lundqvist, of course, those are 2 of their better guys. They're out shooting us only 10-8. So hypothetically, if we could get at least a goal or two back in the second period, we could be back in this game. So let's play better defensively in the second, and let's at least get one goal in the second as well. Second period, 3-1. Okay, that's not as bad. We did make it a 2-1 game at one point. Reefers scored, but then Park scores for them. Their top line is now starting to play like they did in game 1. We're only down by 2 goals. The shots are pretty close. Can we find a way to get 2 goals back in this third period? Come on, boys. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. Vance and McDavid, I'm looking at you guys. Come on, guys. Let's give a solid effort in this third period here. Oh, Bemster makes it 4-1. Yeah, this is going to be a series that maybe goes to 7 games. Manlow makes it 5-1. Oh, no. And now Howden's not playing good. Manlow makes it 6-1. Damn, we're just getting completely crapped on now after having 2 really strong games. I am really conflicted. I don't know what our team is good at right now. We had 2 good offensive games and 2 good defensive games in a row, and now we had a really bad defensive game and a really bad offensive one. It was 2-1 at one point, and then we let their top line take over. And we cannot let them have that type of scenario. Oof. Well, Donald, you're getting back in net for the next game, because that was the first loss for Howden in the playoffs, and it was not a good one. And we got to make some adjustments here. It's the best 2 out of 3 now. This might go to 7 games for the Stanley Cup. I really hope we don't lose this here. Let's go to adjustments here. Donald back in is good. We will go to Lowry back on the top pairing. Morris back to the second pairing. Ovechkin to... Actually, we'll go with this. Put the 2 OFDs together. That seems like a really risky thing to do, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we're going to take Hart back out and get Patterson back in. Hopefully hopefully he's motivated to score some goals. And yeah, the rest of the team is going to stay the same, I think. Is Czar maybe back to the center instead? Yeah. So some solid adjustments, and hopefully Easton Donald has 2 wins in his bag. Because if he loses 2 games, then we obviously lose the Stanley Cup. So it's the best 2 out of 3 now. Let's see if we could be 1 win away from a Stanley Cup win. Or a Stanley Cup Finals loss, which would be terrible. Okay, here we go. The biggest game of the playoffs yet. We'll do a real-time simulation since we're getting into the very scary territory. Come on, guys. This is a must-win game here. This is a must-win game. We made some adjustments. Hopefully, it is enough to help us win. Power play opportunity in this first period, and we do not capitalize. That's not great. Come on, guys. This has been a really back-and-forth series so far, though. And they score first. That's not good, Donald. You're not supposed to give up the game's first goal. Darby makes it 1-0 Montreal. Shots are 9-8, so pretty even first period, but we need our top liners to get going in the second. Come on, guys. Come on, Vance. You can do it, man. I believe in you. I believe in you. McDavid. Oh, Caulfield makes it 2-0. That's not good. That might be the one that might be the dagger. Vance pulls us back within 1. Okay, Asher. I see ya. Can you score more for us, please, though? Or Ovechkin or somebody on the blue line. Manlow makes it 3-1. Donald's not playing good. Patterson gets back into the lineup and pulls us within 1. Okay, Patterson. I see you. Getting injected back into the lineup might have given you a little bit of a step. Shots are 24-19 in favor of us. We're only down by a goal. We need a big third period here. If we could score a goal and at least get this to overtime, that's a good scenario. But obviously, if we lose this third period, we have a chance to lose the Stanley Cup in Montreal. And it will be a very tough building to play in to try and force a Game 7. So we need a strong output here in this third period here. We need that next goal. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Penalty kill to start the third period. It's not a good way to start the third period. Another penalty kill. Stop taking penalties, guys. Thank you. Power play. We do not score on it. Come on, guys. Let's go. McDavid scores. Let's go, Connor. That's why we brought you in. He ties the game up at 3 in this third period. Final few minutes of this third period of Game 5. And we are, in fact, going to a very big overtime. So this is almost like a do or die in a sense. But we're out shooting 36-27. I would intervene, but I feel like I'm going to give us a better chance of losing the game. Oh, come on, guys. Let's get this next one. We get that next goal. We are a game away from winning the Stanley Cup. We lose this game. We need to win 2 games in a row. Come on. Asher Vance, if you're the captain of this team, I know you have it in you to score a game winner. You probably assisted on that McDavid goal. Let's see what happens. I would intervene, but I'm not going to. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Come on, Vance. I believe in you, man. I believe in you. Or somebody like Ovechkin or Bales who's had OT winners. Penalty kill and OT. Stop taking penalties, guys. Power play. Come on, please. Please. Oh, we don't score on it. And Montreal wins. You got to be fucking joking me. Sylvan Parks. And we lose an OT. And we need to win 2 in a row. Or else we're losing to a team that shouldn't have made the Stanley Cup Finals, hypothetically. Like, obviously they have a good top line, but they're a team that literally finished 42, 30, and 10. And we had a lot more wins than that. We got into OT, which is great, but we come up short in that one. Advance from McDavid and Reefers, Patterson from Brigley and Lowry, and then McDavid from Spiller and Niedemaki. Oh, man, what do we need to do to get 2 more wins? I wouldn't put that one on our goaltending or anything, really, but we need to find a way to win 2 straight games. I am going to be going with Donald this game. Just because Howden, I don't really know if I should put him in a situation like that. But we need to make some sort of adjustments to find a way to win this next game. So, I am going to break up Reefers from the top line, I think. And put McDavid as center. We'll put Reefers as the second line center. And we'll put Recchi on that top line to play with Nazar and Kabanov. And then bottom 6-wise, I'm going to put Packers Slotty on the 3rd line, Bales on the 4th line, because Bales is more of a defensive 4th line or player anyways. And then defensively, we're going to split the 2 OFDs back up again. Put Ovechkin back with the top pairing. And put Lowry with Ovechkin, I think. And yeah, then we'll run with Easton Donald. We need to win 2 games in a row, or else we're losing the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay, now that the lineup is set, I think we are ready to go. But I am very, very concerned. 2 straight wins against this Montreal team is going to be tough. Especially considering we need to win 1 in Montreal. Like, in real life, playing in Montreal probably is the toughest building to play in. And then if we go to a Game 7, we got to win on home ice, which hopefully we could do that. But, man, hopefully those line changes help. Oh, I'm concerned. We should not be losing in this series to Montreal. Like, obviously, Montreal's had a really good playoff run, but their regular season was kind of average. They were a really good offensive team and whatnot, but I don't feel like we should be losing hypothetically to them, even though they have a good top line. But let's force a Game 7 here, guys. Because if we don't, we have to be packing our bags a little bit earlier than we'd liked. And that would not be good, so. Prayer to the hockey gods, everybody. Prayer to the hockey gods. Or pray to the hockey gods that we win 2 games in a row. Oh, they're 15-4. We're 14-8. Come on. Come on. This is definitely the year for us to win a Stanley Cup, and I'm just really concerned because we lost game 1 badly. We had 2 strong games, then we had a terrible game, then we lose in overtime. We need to have another strong game like this 4-1 win or 5-1 win we had, and then hopefully we could somehow pull out another win in our home building. But here we go. 4-time simulation for the entire game to make it a little bit more climactic or something like that. Let's see if we can get a win here and force a Game 7. Come on, guys. I don't want to lose in the Cup Finals now. We had such a great year. We deserve a Stanley Cup too. Come on, Vance. Penalty kill, and they immediately score. Oh my goodness, Donald. This is your last chance to potentially win a cup with this team. And he gives up a power play goal already. And their top line is just apparently too good. It's better than our top line, apparently. We brought in McDavid to try and help out stuff, and it's gotten us all this far, but not far enough. Parks makes it 2-0. That's a terrible way to start off an elimination game, but Patterson, okay, Patterson, he's still been good these last 2 games. We injected him back into our lineup, and he's playing a little bit better than he was before. We're outshooting him 16-11. We're only down by a goal. We need a huge second period here. We need to at least tie this game up in this period, and we need to play our best defensive hockey we've ever played. Come on, guys. We could do it. Just get one goal tied up, and then be as cautious as possible on the defensive blue line. We need that next one. Come on, Asher Vance. Come on, McDavid. Come on, Bales. Come on, Ziska. I don't really care who on our team. Come on, Ovechkin. Niedermaki. Somebody score a goal for us. Come on. Final 10 minutes of the second period, still down by a goal. Come on, guys. Man, this is so nerve-wracking. At least it's only the second period right now, but we need that next goal. Nedek Pozo is playing good right now. Niedermaki, let's go. I called on him, and I didn't even think he would score, but he has tied the game up. Huge goal from the young defenseman. And we are going to not have a tie going into the third. Oh, my goodness. Whoever took that penalty, I'm going to slap you in the face. Even if it's Vance, I'll slap you in the face. Come on. It looked like we're going to have a tied game going into the third period. We give a late penalty, and they get a power play goal with 19 seconds left. That might win them the Stanley Cup. We're down by 1 goal, guys. Again, we need to find a way to tie this one up in this period, or else we're packing our bags and Montreal is winning the Stanley Cup. Shots are 23-21 in our favor. We need Vance. We need the man. Come on, man. Come on. Third period underway. Let's see if we get that next one, or else we are packing our bags in the Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, guys. We need 2 wins. We need somebody to step up here in this third period. Come on, Connor. I know McDavid has it in him, too. Come on, boys. We need 1. Let's go, Len Morris. Okay, Len. I was not expecting you and Reefers. Let's go. Huge 2 goals in this third period. Reefers again. Oh, boy. This is a third period for the history books. Lowry makes it 6-3, and we're going to force the Game 7 for the Stanley Cup back on home ice. I honestly thought we were going to lose this game when we let in that goal late in the second. But a huge surge of a third period, and we are going to Game 7, where we have a chance to win a Stanley Cup in front of our home crowd, or obviously lose it as well. Oh my goodness. Len Morris with a huge goal. 40 seconds later, Reefer scores. Then he scores again. And then Lowry gets his 6th goal of the playoffs, which I don't know how he's scoring that much, but oh well. Shots were 35-28 at the end of it. And we managed to pull out a big win in Montreal. And we're 1 win away from the Stanley Cup, or 1 loss away from being very disappointed. It's good to see this young team going as far as they are, but I really want that cup. Patterson from Bales and Lowry, Niedermaki from Brigley and Bales, Morris from Vance and Recchi, Reefers from Nazar and Kabanov, Reefers from Kabanov and Nazar, and Lowry from Kabanov and Nazar. So those line adjustments we made for that big game might have helped us in that third period. Reefers the first star, Parks and Caulfield the second and third star. I honestly am very conflicted with our team right now. We've had some really good offensive games and some really bad offensive games. We've had some really bad defensive games and some really good ones. But we are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup, and Montreal is also 1 win away from the Stanley Cup, despite them being like an average team in the regular season. Their top line has definitely gotten them this far. I hope it doesn't get them much farther. I guess we got to reunite the top line again, even though we just won a game. I think I got to reunite that top line again. It's the last chance, so we might as well. We might as well give our team our original lines again, and hope that it gets us that win. Len Morris, let's see. What do we do here? I don't want Spiller actually up there. I want Niedermaki up there instead. We'll go back to our exact original lines, because it got us as far as possible. And yeah, we're going to rely on Easton Donald, which is scary because he's been inconsistent. But this team is 1 win away from a Stanley Cup, or 1 loss away from missing out on that cup. Come on, guys. Come on. Asher Vance has 19 goals this playoff run. He's got 29 points. He deserves that cup. Reefers, McDavid, everybody on this team deserves a cup, probably. But we just need to win 1 game. Easton Donald, you need to have your best playoff game yet. You've had some really good games in the past, but you've also had some really bad ones too. So, comes down to this. Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. This one's for all of the marbles. Let's get her done. We'll do 4-time simulation. Let's have another strong game. We were kind of a little bit, we didn't look like we were going to win last game, but then we had a really good third period. So let's hopefully ride that momentum of the third period into Game 7. Come on, guys. Let's do it for our fans. Let's do it for our fans. For the Stanley Cup, Game 7. And we immediately took a penalty. 2 penalties. I don't know why we're taking so many penalties, but oh well. Stop taking penalties. My God, we've been shorthanded for the first few minutes, and Reefers scores first. Let's go, Reefers. Continuing off that third period, and Asher Vance makes it 2-0. Let's go. This is a great way to start a Game 7. Even though we were shorthanded for like the first half of the period, we're still up 2-0 because of our 2 of our top liners. We reunite the top line, and they immediately get goals. That's huge. That is huge. Come on, guys. Carry this into intermission. Jeez, I can barely talk. And yes, we're going to have a 2-0 lead going into the second period. Shots are 10-10, so pretty even period. But our top liners, Vance and Reefers, come through with 2 big goals. Let's get insurance in this next period. And we definitely need to find a way to continue shutting down that top liners. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. Penalty kill. Stop taking penalties, guys. They have a really good top line and a good power play unit, so we can stop taking penalties, please. Come on. We're halfway through this game, still up by 2 goals. Come on, boys. You got this in you. I know you do. I know you do. And Nazar scores. Let's go. It's 3-0. That might be the goal. That's a big, big one. We're being outshot by 6 shots right now still, but we're up by 3 goals. Oh, boy. Easton Donald's also having his best game in a while. And we are a full 20 minutes away from winning a Stanley Cup in Game 7. After last game, it looked like we weren't going to win the Stanley Cup. We surged through with 4 goals in the third period. Now we're 20 minutes away. Come on, boys. Let's get her done. We'll intervene with like a few minutes left if we have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Well, we'll probably intervene regardless, but come on, boys. Just lock it down for 15 minutes and then we might be good. We're looking good right now. We just need to keep it going good defensively, good goaltending. We don't need to necessarily add any more goals, but any more goals would be nice too. I feel like we're going to win it. Yep, there we go. Patterson's 3rd goal of the Stanley Cup Finals. And yeah, we're going to win the Stanley Cup, I think. Final 6 minutes of the game. Let's intervene. Let's watch it. We'll talk over the celebration, obviously. But we have pulled out a Stanley Cup win against a Montreal Canadiens team that I didn't think would pose this much of a problem. But they had a really good playoff run, so it makes sense that they got this far. But we're going to win a Stanley Cup. Let's go. Asher Vance is going to have his name on the cup. That's going to be awesome. Unless we blow a 4-goal lead here late, but I don't see that happening. But let's go. Finally get to see a Stanley Cup celebration with Asher Vance. Like I said, I'm going to talk over the celebration and the talking and stuff like that just because there's copyrighted music when you win the Stanley Cup. I know that from my Anchorage series. So, at least I know about that ahead of time. But here you go, Vance just ragging the puck, looking like a pro hut player. Spiller throws it up to McDavid. Connor McDavid, maybe the guy that helped carry this team to the Stanley Cup. Holds on to it, gets to the Reefers. I don't know who's going to end up winning the Conn Smythe. Because you have Vance, who's been scoring a lot of goals. You have McDavid, who's got a lot of points. And then you also have Reefers, who's had an incredible Stanley Cup Finals. And a lot of points, too. One of those 3 guys for sure is going to win the Conn Smythe, but I'm not sure on exactly who. Vance has 20 goals in the playoffs. Reefers only has 8, but I'm pretty sure he's over 20 points. So, 3 of those goals have came in the last few periods, so that's pretty impressive. I'm very excited to see who ends up getting handed the Stanley Cup. Obviously, Vance will start off with it since he's the captain, but who is he going to hand it off to? Hopefully, we don't get it just thrown to a random no-name on the team, but pretty much everybody on this team is a player that I wouldn't mind getting to see hold the cup. So, man, I am so happy that we're finally going to win a Stanley Cup. It's been a long time coming for this team. And we're going to get the best of Ned Okposo as well. Even though Ned Okposo is a very solid playoff goalie, he didn't have the best Stanley Cup Finals. Like, his numbers in the playoffs before we faced him were really, really good. So, props to him for helping the Montreal Canadiens get as far as they did. But Obviously, he's going to come up a little bit short against us, which is great. Because obviously we should be the team to win the Stanley Cup, not Montreal on paper. But their top line pretty much is what carried them as far as possible. And I guess maybe their second line was good too. A couple defenders on their team. But we're only 2 minutes away from winning that Stanley Cup. Let's get it away, boys. Nicely done. Nazar in the corner. Kicks it back. Here is Brunstrom. Hopefully Brunstrom gets handed the cup too. That'd be kind of cool. I don't really care who gets handed the cup. Like, a lot of these guys I'm kind of attached to on a roster. Recchi shoots. Big save there. Damn, that was a nice chance. This might be the start, though, of a potential dynasty too. You never know. Because we have a very good young roster and a lot of players are locked up for multiple years. So is this a chance to turn this team into a dynasty with this cup win? Like, are we going to all of a sudden win a bunch of games? And oh my goodness. Len Morris just reversed hit the guy, and then he also reversed hit almost another dude. I know he's got back at you, but damn, that would have been insane. Throw 2 players down. Wow, we're already into the final 30 seconds. Let's go. Come on, boys. Let's play it down and don't allow any goals here. I want to see Dalton get a shutout in this game. Len Morris, great defensive play. Nicely done. Nice hit there. Nice strap up by Brunstrom. Pritchett walks in. Nice poke check there by Len. Nice hit. Final 10 seconds. We're going to win our first Stanley Cup. Not in our team's history, obviously, but our first ever Stanley Cup in the Chicago Blackhawks series. Let's go. We have won the Stanley Cup in 7 games. Didn't look like it was going to happen last game until that third period happened, and then we had a really good Game 7 here. And we have won our first Stanley Cup of the franchise mode. Even after we traded away like Pitton, Kavanaugh. Who else did we trade away last offseason? Or no, that was only the 2 we traded away. But still, we traded away a couple players, and we win a Stanley Cup the year after. Pretty damn impressive. There is Connor McDavid getting the Conn Smythe. I don't know if he's actually going to get it. Probably he will. I'm pretty sure he still led us in points. But there you go. Connor McDavid, the Conn Smythe winner in his first season in Chicago. Maybe his only season. Who knows if he retires. And then here we go. Let's see who ends up getting handed the Stanley Cup. Obviously, we're going to see Vance skate over and get it, which is going to be awesome. The first Chicago Blackhawks captain since Jonathan Toews to hold a cup. And already celebrating with the blue confetti, which makes no sense. Why isn't it red? But oh well, there's Vance skating over. Let's go, Asher. You finally got on top of the world, man. Rock that mustache, rock that cup win. Let's go. Woo! Oh boy. We've been waiting to see this for a very long time for Asher Vance. 28 years old, wins his first Stanley Cup. He's kind of in like the territory like Connor McDavid in real life. Where hopefully he wins the Stanley Cup by this point in time. Who is he going to pass it off to? He is going to pass it off to Easton Donald. Okay, he decides to go to the goaltender who's had a little bit of a rough time. This is his last year here in Chicago. He's probably not coming back, so I don't mind him getting the cup next. But he kind of had a streaky playoffs. I'm surprised that goaltender gets the cup at number 2, because usually it's always at number 3 or 4. But Easton Donald gets his troll with the Stanley Cup. Who is he going to pass it off to now? He is going to pass it off to... Don't mess with Brigley. He's going to pass it off to Connor McDavid. Let's go. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Connor McDavid, there he is with the Stanley Cup. Comes to Chicago from Edmonton. Wins the Stanley Cup. I don't know if that's his first Stanley Cup. It might be his second or third, but he wins the Stanley Cup with us. Let's go, Connor. That's awesome to see. Considering he's like 37 near the end of his career. And who's he going to pass it off to for the last twirl? It's going to be Aiden Howden. Okay, so both goalies getting a troll with the cup. I like that. I like that. That's kind of interesting. I didn't give it a refers, but the youngster, who's only 21 but looks really old, gets a chance to also hold the Stanley Cup. So both goalies getting to skate with the cup. I don't think I've seen that happen before, so really happy for Howden to get that cup in his rookie season. He came in and did a solid job in the playoffs at times. It's kind of interesting that he got handed the cup, but there you go. The cup celebration. Let's see the boys out there on the ice. Let's go. I believe that's Recchi also with the A in this chest. Let's go. Yeah, McDavid didn't even have a letter on him, but oh well. Let's see those names on the Stanley Cup now. Oh boy. Feels so good to win a Stanley Cup finally in this series, because we already won a couple in Anchorage, so good to see us actually win one in this series now too. We're starting to win all these cups all of a sudden. Let's see those names on the cup. Come on, loading screen. There we go. Vance, Bales, Brigley, Brunstrom, Corrado, Donald, Hart, Howden, Johansson, Kabanov, Little, Lowry, McDavid, Morris, Nazar, Nitamaki, Ovechkin, Pakislotti, Patterson, Recchi, Reefer, Spiller, and Ziska. Damn, it hurts reading it all out, but 2034-35 Stanley Cup champions. Let's go. Woo! Finally got it done. Damn, Recchi had 6 hits in that last game. Making an impact physically. Love to see it. Reefers, second star with a goal and an assist. And the first star of the game, Easton Donald with a shutout. Maybe that's why he got handed the Stanley Cup, because he had a shutout in Game 7. Wasn't great throughout the entire playoffs, but he gets a shutout when it matters most. Let's take a look at everybody on our team here. Okay, I had to make a little bit of a cut just to be safe that I didn't lose any video footage files. But there's Connor McDavid with us, Stanley Cup champion. What else we got on the ice for the last little bit? 27. Oh, that's Kabanov. So there's Kabanov. He's been a pretty solid player. What else we have here? Len Morris, I believe, is 13. Yep, Len Morris. Stanley Cup champion. Solid looking defender. We also have over here Brunstrom. Finally getting a Stanley Cup. Wow, that beard is fantastic. Jeez. Yeah, he looks like a playoff machine. He looks like a Brent Burns, obviously, because of the wild man. And then we have Recchi. Let's get Recchi by himself here. The assistant captain of the team. There he is. Let's take a look at the guys on the bench. Let's take a look at the guys on the bench. Wow, Vance was literally just going to come off at the time. There he is. Also, Nazar still down there on the bench too. Then we also have 26. That's Reefers. I think he's got a nice beard going for him. Who else do we have here? 68. Thalen gets a defenseman. No, that's Brigley. So that's the guy we signed in free agency for the 4th line. Then we have 58. I believe that's a defender, right? No, that's Corrado. So that's Corrado, 3rd liner. Then we have number 48. That must be a defenseman. It's got to be, right? No, that's Patterson. Oh, okay. Another 4th line kind of option. He had a really solid Stanley Cup Finals. 66, that's definitely a defenseman, right? No, that's Pakislotti. Jeez, I can't even know anybody's number on this team. There's Pakislotti. 46. Now we got to be looking at defenders, right? No, that's Ziska, and then Bales is next. So there's Ziska, the bigger guy. Bales there with the tilted visor. 89. That's Spiller, right? Yep, Spiller. Then we have 77. Who is 77? It's another big guy. Oh, it's Ovechkin, right? Yeah, that's Ovechkin. Pretty big looking defender. And we have these two defensemen, Nitamaki and Lowry. Both looking out, ready to go for a line change. Let me get them to sit down for a second, if they're actually going to sit down, so you can actually see some of the other guys on the bench. And then there's our backup goaltender in Howden, who's going to be the starting goalie next season. So there's your Stanley Cup winning team. There's your Stanley Cup winning team. Let me see if Vance ever gets on the ice by himself again. Let's see. So I want a screenshot of him just on the ice. Even though I already got one probably last round, I want to get another one just in case. Just because it will be kind of cool with the Stanley Cup Finals patch on it. But I think Vance is definitely going to go down in channel history for this team. Did he never get even a single shift in the entire time we watched in the last little bit? Come on, Vance. He might not have even got a single shift at the end of that game. Let's see. Oh, now he got a shift. There you go. He should be out there now. Yep, he's down there in the corner. There he is. Let's get him with the Chicago theme in the background. Maybe. There he is. The captain of the team. Acknowledging the fans that he's going to be a Stanley Cup champion. That's a face of a warrior right there. Let's go. What a boy. There you go. Okay, let's finish wrapping this up, because obviously this episode's probably pretty long at this stage. Let's take a look at our player stats for the playoffs and the awards. Well, we're finally a Stanley Cup champion in Chicago. Let's see. Yep, there we go. And Iowa won the Calder Cup. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's take a look at those player stats. Ooh. So, forward-wise, yeah, McDavid is definitely the Conn Smythe winner. Vance had 20 goals in 24 playoff games for 30 points. Reefers had 27 points. Yeah, these three, fantastic. Recchi was also really good. Kabanov was good. Nassar really picked it up. Bales and stuff like that, not so much, but we got the Stanley Cup, and that's all I care about. And then defensively, Niittymaki, Lowry, Brunstrom really stepped up, especially Lowry in terms of the 6 goals. And he was a plus 17, and Spiller was plus 19. Pretty damn good. And then goalie-wise, yeah, both goalies were kind of streaky at times, but both were pretty solid too at times as well. So there you go. There's our Stanley Cup winning team. Let's take a look at those awards, actually. And then I don't think I'm going to sim up to the lottery and stuff yet. Maybe actually I will. Just in case we lose McDavid. So, there you go. We are the Stanley Cup champions, beating the defending Cup champions. Interesting. Rangers won the President's Trophy, and it was us in Montreal Cup Finals. Parks won the Art Ross and the Hart. Dahlin wins the Norris. McDavid won the Lady Byng for us, so good job there, Connor. Baumgartner wins the Calder for Seattle. McDavid won the Conn Smythe, yep. Sweat the Vezina for Tampa and the Jennings. Tarnasky wins the Masterton for the 2nd year in a row. Kalanos wins the Jack Adams. Bedard won the Selke. Parks to Lindsay, and Parks to Richard, yeah. Parks was really damn good for Montreal, and that's the reason why they got as far as they did, probably. That's funny that, what is it, Christopher Nolan was the best defender in the AHL. Because this guy literally was just playing in the NHL playoffs against us in the 2nd round. So even though he got called up, he still won an award. Just kind of nuts. So there is that. Let's take a look at the retirements and stuff like that. Wrap up the season, because there might be a retirement to Connor McDavid. Which I really hope there's not, but you never know. So Toronto's got 1st overall, followed by Columbus, Florida, Buffalo, and Calgary. Let's see. Did Connor McDavid retire after winning the Stanley Cup with us? He did not. Okay, that's good. Sebastian Aho is now an Islander. That's actually hilarious. Like the other Aho. But yeah, we didn't have any retirements. That is good. We could always bring back Connor McDavid, but I don't really know if he's going to be asking for too much. But there you go in terms of forwards. Best defender to retire is McAvoy. Sam Girard up there. We used to have Sam Girard for a bit. He was part of one of the big trades we had early in this franchise mode. And there we go. Best goalie to retire. John Gibson, Sorokin up there too. And that's pretty much that. And coach retirement wise, we did not lose anybody, I don't think yet. We didn't lose anybody for coaches. Let's take a look at that draft class, the progress reports, and the contract situation. So, draft class, because this doesn't matter too much, but wow, there's a franchise player going 1st overall, huh? Franchise sniper, so somebody to compete with Asher Vance. It's not great, but oh well. Let's see. Yeah, this draft class might not be that. Actually, there's a guaranteed medium elite goalie that's supposed to go 2nd round. Maybe we want to just take him, even though he's 5 years out. There's also a potential low elite, though. This guy in Parker Burish, we'll pin him. Another goalie in the 2nd round who looks really good in 2 years out. We'll pin him. Actually, might be some good 2nd rounders for us to take. Yeah, this actually might be a good draft. Because top 4s going in the 2nd round is always a good sign. Let's see if there's any low elites to pin for later rounds. Another medium elite goalie there. Let's pin him. Why not? Any low elites for the 7th round? Usually we always find low elites. Del Monte. I don't know. Maybe Zachariah David. It sounds like a really religious name. No. Curtis Corey. Is this guy going to be like my Cedric Corey? Probably not. He's already 20, but we'll pin him anyways. There you go. Progress report-wise. Any good growth? Or drop-off? McDavid's dropping off, not a surprise. He's only top 6 now. Ziska's growing. Naturally. Just good. And that's pretty much the most of it. Yeah, there's a better chance that Donald hits the free agency this year. I could bring him back maybe, but I don't know. Depends on the cap situation and what he's asking for. In terms of prospects, Leonardo Knights, who we drafted in the 7th round, I'd like to say. Or was it 7th round or was it 2nd round? No, it was like 6th round. He's up to a 58 at 19, which is not great, but oh well. Weeks might be in the NHL next year. So we might have some guys make the jump, which is good. He weighs up to a 69. That's the elite goaltender we drafted recently. We could always trade some of them away if we really want to. So there is our prospects. And then final thing, the contract situation. As you guys should know, we have a couple guys up for renewal. Obviously, McDavid's one of them. He wants $10 million, so honestly, we could bring him back. But also, Nazar's up for renewal. He actually is not too expensive. He's relatively cheap. Like, his asking price has dropped down a lot from the 10.8. And then we have still a couple of RFAs to re-sign, like Ovechkin, Itamaki, Patterson, Brigley. Johansson might come back as a depth defender, but in general, we might be able to keep the team almost the exact same. Like, Donald's not even asking for too much. So, I'll leave that up to you guys, but hopefully we can maintain our roster pretty much and get ourselves another chance at another Stanley Cup. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the draft and re-sign stage as we look to maintain this team and hopefully win some more Stanley Cups. Send anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.